to the Broncos of Santa Clara, who lose it out of bounds, but they'll keep it at this end. Stephen Bardo joining me, and the students out in full force and very loud voice tonight. Right behind us, Stephen. Much like St. Mary's across the bay when we go there. They're that little gym. This is a bigger arena, the Levy Center, which holds just under 5,000, but a difficult place to come in and play. And Mark, you talked about that this afternoon at the shoot-around. Robert Smith buries another jumper, the freshman, and they're out to a 7-0 lead. This is a dangerous road game in conference for the Zags.
It really is, because the Zags always get everyone's best shot, Terry, in conference play, but Santa Clara plays very well here.
Blocked out of bounds by Trasolini as Harris tried to take him along the baseline.
Well, you look at Robert Smith, the freshman. That's big for him to get it going. Then Mark Trasolini from deep pulling Robert Sacre out of the paint area. And then Robert Smith once again. So a lot of confidence here for Santa Clara.
Second turnover by the Zags. Here comes Dowdle from Australia. Sacre got a piece of it. Elias Harris out ahead of the pack and lays it up and good. Harris, one of the best freshmen in the country. If you haven't seen this first-year player from Germany, over the last 8 games, all he's done is average a double-double. He's averaged 20 points per game during that span.
Well, he's just an outstanding performer. Highly skilled, but he has as much or more athleticism than any forward in the nation, so it makes him fun to watch.
Zags out and running. Here's Gray, 1-on-3, stops, pops, and hits. Stephen Gray, the junior from Bainbridge, Washington, averaging about 14 points per game.
Terry, that's such a lost art in the college game. Seeing a guy go full speed, jump stop, pop straight up, take what the defense gives you. Took a 12-foot jumper. Nice job by Stephen Gray.
Gonzaga 16-3 and red hot. They've won 8 in a row. Perfect in conference play. Matt Bolden takes it away. He's got numbered 3-on-1. Back to Bolden from Gray.
That's pretty basketball by Gray and Bolden. Matt Bolden, Terry, does a great job on the defensive end, coming up with the steal. Turn it into a fast break situation.
The freshman Smith kicks it out to Dowdle and cleared underneath. They're going to whistle. The foul's going to be on Robert Sacre.
Here's what we were talking about. Fast break situation. Watch Stephen Gray. Looks like he's going to go 1-on-2. Stop, pop. Nice job of taking what the defense gives him. And then look at that. Beautiful 2-on-1 fast break by Stephen Gray and Matt Bolden.
Raymond Cowles, a freshman from Minneapolis, come all the way out here to the West Coast to play for Kerry Keating, who's in his 3rd year. He's on the floor now. Keating, who came over from UCLA, was an assistant for Ben Howland. His first head coaching job. And getting this is his 2nd recruiting class now, becoming more of Kerry Keating's team now and feeling it. I mean, his style, his way of playing. Cowles, the pull-up. He can shoot it, not this time, though, and cleared by Harris.
Well, and Kevin Foster, who we'll talk more about, all-conference performer out with a broken foot. If he's on this ball club right now with his 18-point per game average, this would be a much different ball club.
There's the traps and the foul along the sideline. So Kerry Keating, why didn't you do more of this, too, defensively? Go to that zone, trap more out of it, be more active. Says that next year, he's got 4 kids signed already, plans on more. He said, my style will certainly be much more evident, but we're starting to assume that role.
Yeah, and he wants to go 9 to 10 players deep. He wants to change defenses, put a lot of pressure on you on both ends of the floor. So he's starting to get his players in place for that. But it's almost a blessing in disguise when you have a guy like Kevin Foster that gets hurt and you have to depend on some of these freshmen to play every minute.
Elias Harris, the spin, and a chance for a 3-point play. Nee Harrison, a freshman, just came off the bench and committed the foul. Harris has done this to a lot of teams so far early on in his career.
Best with confidence.
Back inside the Levy Center here in Santa Clara, California. Thursday Night Showcase presented by T. Rowe Price rolls on, all part of ESPNU Campus Connection Week. 8-7 is the score in the early going. Terry Gannon along with Stephen Bardo. So Santa Clara gets out to a great start. 3 of 4. That's just up 7-0, but 8 straight points by the Zags now.
Well, the Zags can hit you so quickly. You saw them get a couple turnovers into fast break opportunities, and that seemed to really get them going early. But Santa Clara start out pretty well. They've got to maintain their focus through the first half.
You brought your friends with you, I see right there.
Yeah, I see that.
West Coast Conference play some of the headlines. The Zags flying high again, trying to win their 10th straight regular season conference title. Right behind them, though, the Gales of St. Mary's. No surprise there, even without Patty Mills this year, shooting 42% from beyond the arc. How about Keon Bell from Pepperdine? This part of the action last week against the Zags. He had 34 in the second half against Gonzaga.
Yeah, that's putting up some huge numbers, and Gonzaga gets that type of effort from every team in the West Coast Conference, Terry. Every time they hit the floor, they get everyone's best shot.
And they get a full house on the road, too. The students come out. Tresolini, the spin, and the miss. Will Foster, all 7'5" of them, off the bench and on the floor now for Mark Few.
I'm not so sure if I'm Mark Tresolini. I want to go into the chest of Will Foster. I think I'd like to stay on the perimeter and stay away from that 7'5" frame.
Come on, challenge the big fella. Take it right at him. Shot blocker like that. Dimitri Goodson lost it on the floor, and Raymond Cowles comes up with it. One of the youngsters who's getting a lot of playing time. That's the one thing about Santa Clara and Kerry Keating right now. Because Kevin Foster is out with a broken foot, the young guys, the freshmen, have to play a lot of minutes.
They do, and I was impressed right there with Cowles' double team on the basketball. We've seen that a couple times early. They've been able to come up with a turnover off of it.
Troy Alexander on to run the point now inside to Harrison. A jumper in the lane for the freshman from California, Bellarmine Prep. Quickly up the floor go the Zags, and Harris will go to the free throw line.
That's one of the things against Gonzaga. You can never relax getting back defensively. Dimitri Goodson is as fast as any player in the nation with the basketball. He puts constant pressure on the defense.
Don't celebrate.
Lee Harrison showing you some athleticism, knowing he's got to bring his A game against fellow freshman who's at the line right now, Elias Harris.
Raymond Cowles picked up his second, the team's third. 3 players off the bench. Original starters. Dowdle comes back in, along with Robert Smith and Troy Payne.
Wow, Raymond Cowles picking up 2 fouls, you just mentioned, Terry. It's so, when you're a freshman and you get a chance to play Gonzaga for the first time, you're so keyed up, you get in the game, you're running around, and then you got to come sit back down on the bench because you got 2 quick persons.
Yeah, those emotions come back down to earth in a hurry. See the numbers a moment ago on Harris, 66% during the 8-game winning streak.
A lot of dunks, a lot of point-blank shots with his ability to get to the basket with the use of his athleticism.
Smith the floater. Harrison. Shot clock does not reset. Never touched the rim. And the foul on Will Foster, his first. We saw it a moment ago. Elias Harris, I mean, just putting up staggering numbers the last couple of weeks.
Well, you look at the double-double, but you mentioned, Terry, 66%. I mean, you're making 2 out of every 3 shots.
Yeah.
And it's he can shoot the 3, he can post up, he runs the floor like a guard, and we saw him draw the foul going one-on-one in the paint area. There's really no weakness in his game.
Well, when 60% of your shots are dunks, it seems like at least, you tend to shoot a pretty good percentage. A lot on him tonight. In fact, 30 seconds with Stephen Bardo earlier today. A chance to visit with Elias Harris.
Good job of getting that young man to open up a little bit. Not quite his camera. Doesn't seek the camera like a lot of his American counterparts. He kind of shies away from the limelight, but he was good with us this afternoon.
Well, your gregarious personality is going to draw that out, I'm sure.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we'll see that out of the next break. Harris, on cue, just throws it away.
Well, he's trying to hit his teammate, Will Foster, and big fella